Well, this couple came in and they had their dog
in their hand.
In their hand,
No,
in the
I
palm.
wish.
Oh.
Oh.
Is it feisty?
So we get in the elevator and apparently this is a thing where if the leash gets caught in the elevator, it can like,
Oh, well, yeah, it can like...
it's terrifying. So we had this moment I walk in the lobby and I'm like, have you heard of this building? And I'm telling them all about the amenities and like,
Oh my God.
I'm like petting their dog and we're talking like this, like a lot of our meet and greet was all about this dog. And then we get in the elevator.
And is
the
this
door
a tiny
shuts.
dog?
It's a tiny dog.
Oh no.
With a harness on. So like really like, stuck in its leash. And the door shuts and this dog just starts getting dragged across the floor.
No.
And the scream that came out of this woman's mouth was I don't think my heart's ever raced. It was the worst moment.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalewski here with...
Cameron Barbier.
Today, we're very excited for this guest. We have Patrick Carincross with us.
Yay.
Hi. Say hi to the people, Pat. Patrick is an agent with, I get so proud of myself every time, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties.
You've gotten
I said it. I've gotten...
one breath.
In one breath. I've gotten really good at it. He is on the Carincross team with his wonderful dad, Steve Carincross, and brother-in-law, Matt Tovey, who he just told me stole his story for this podcast. So way to go, Matt. Patrick has been in the business for 11 years. He's a dad to now 3 beautiful children. Congrats on the baby.
Thanks.
You look well rested, so like everything seems okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You only have 2, so you know. And he is an all-around amazing agent. Pat, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we asked, first and foremost, baby's doing good. You just told us when you came in, older 2 kids went away for the week, so you've gotten to catch up on some sleep, which is great.
Yeah.
Wife is doing well.
Wife is doing well.
Healing, like
She's healed. Yeah.
she's healed. She's got a 3rd one. And you might have a 4th, who knows already, Cam,
You're already in the crew.
Come on, Cam, start spitting out kids too. Yeah, exactly. Okay. We were talking and then I was like, wait, we need to start the episode because, okay, so start us from the beginning because I don't think people know this. You were telling us, did you go to school at UCLA?
I went to school at USC.
Ew.
See, I was like, oh.
Did you go to UCLA?
Yes.
My wife went to UCLA.
Okay, good.
Oh, did you guys meet in college?
We met in high school.
In high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this one? You know it. Okay. So you were up in LA and then you said that she was going to move to the East Coast for law school.
For law school.
Okay. And so start there. So where did you go?
All right. So we're graduating undergrad. Mm-hmm. She goes to UVA.
Okay.
And
Wait, when did you start dating?
high school.
Oh, you started dating in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
You
didn't know
guys are
that.
high school sweethearts.
How
Yeah.
cute.
So
Adorable. And then Matt and Caitlin met in high school.
Preschool.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they went up to. Sorry.
Wow.
They really did.
They did. And I went to school with my wife like since middle school. We only met senior year of high school.
Wow. And you guys are the same age.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like Matt's my age. So you guys weren't in the same school together, right? But you definitely
I heard stories, but
yeah.
didn't know him.
His
Stories.
His stories.
stories.
Yes,
I was
heard
going to
stories.
say the legend precedes him, right? Okay. Anyway,
He's a great guy.
we love you, Matt.
Okay. So went to USC. My wife was at UCLA, and then she went to law school.
Rivals.
And I said I'll follow you to the East Coast, but I can't go to Virginia. So I went to New York.
Wait, why not Virginia?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
We had this weird thing. I don't know if you remember this. So many people from La Jolla moved to New York.
It was like, yes, it was crazy. It was
Right.
like our whole town
Like
was
the
over there.
city. They wanted to
Yeah.
try out New York City.
It
Like
was
that's why I went over there for those 3 nights, and I was like, get me home.
I thought there was something I didn't know where you're like, yeah, that's why I went over there for like a semester. You're like those 3 nights. And I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Like,
Yeah, it's because like all of our high school was living over there at the
oh
time.
my God. Okay. So you did not go to Virginia. You went to New York. You're like,
New
this
York.
is a train ride away. We can still see each other. Okay.
Yep,
You're
train ride.
dating this whole time.
Yeah. So the train ride.
Yep.
And I studied the music industry in college,
Oh, cool.
and they phased out my major the day that I graduated. So me and all my
what?
friends were like, "What are we gonna do with, for careers?" So I went into advertising.
Oh, good for you.
So I got a job in advertising, and a few months in, I was getting a little frustrated because I was so excited to be out of college and to work.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yes.
so excited to
Remember
work.
those days?
And I was so lucky to have this advertising job.
For
it was
sure.
it was like the luckiest person ever. The owner of this company was like, "I'll take you," and I was like, "Really?" And so
Me?
yeah. So
Oh, me? Okay.
yeah, and I felt very lucky, but I also was just like a little anxious to do other things. And I was talking to my dad, and he was like, you loved cold calling in college, because I was one of
did?
Yeah, I did. I was
my
one of the
God,
people
wow.
that called.
Read are you, Pat?
I was one of those people that I was a scholar, so you SC caller, so you call the alumni to raise money.
Oh, okay.
And
I feel like that's not
And you
met with
liked
as much
that.
resistance as maybe cold calling in real estate.
it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at least you like,
yeah.
And you're
started
literally
there.
calling kind of family.
Yeah.
Totally. You're like, hey,
they're like,
it's
sure, I'll
so-and-so."
give you $1 million.
Yeah.
Pat's like, I raised the most money out of everybody.
Yeah.
Your dad's like, it's the same as real estate. Come on over.
But he was like, hey, you like that? There's a Mike Ferry seminar coming up in Florida. Why don't you fly down and go to the Mike Ferry seminar? So I went, and for anybody who's watching, we're probably all real estate agents who watch this. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, maybe, no, not all. Not
Mike
all.
Ferry's like the legendary real estate coach.
It's true. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Not everybody knows. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, so-
and his son Tom Ferry has now taken over the business, and
Right.
Mike still has his own stuff, doesn't he?
Mike still has his own,
Okay,
his own
okay.
stuff, but like someone my dad's age would talk about Mike Ferry.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
That's like Mike's been around for a long time. So I went to a Mike Ferry conference.
Concert.
Pretty much a concert.
I mean, if it's anything like Tom Ferry's, then yeah, it's a concert. But yeah.
And it was just like it was like a lesson in like entrepreneurship in sales, basically.
Okay.
And it was inspiring, and I was like, wow, this is really special. So I didn't even have my real estate license, but I had a business plan.
By the way, I love that your dad subliminally was like,
He's like, I got a plan here.
hey, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Anyway.
So I didn't have my license, but I had this business plan, and I started interviewing for my license, and studying for my license. I got my license, and then I just started going into all the big firms and
In
sat
New
down
York.
in New York City.
Wow.
Like, you kind of just like door knock the firm, or that's what I did.
Back then, yeah, to
And
get, yeah.
and so you walk in, you sit down with like the manager, and all the managers were like, I've never heard of like New York City real estate agents cold calling. Like nobody does that around here.
Oh.
Oh,
And
I mean,
so-
things work very different on the East Coast.
Yeah,
so
there's no
that's-
MLS. I mean,
Nope.
it's very different. But I guess because I had a little bit of a plan and I was excited, I ended up hanging my license with the Corcoran Group.
Love it.
So it was Barbara Corcoran. She actually sold the firm before I got there, but it was
Okay.
the same manager. Everybody was there. Everybody
Yeah.
knew Barbara. I met Barbara once on the street, but
Oh, I love her.
yeah. So anyway, I started working in that firm, and
So cool.
it was.
So
it was
did you do a
great
couple
experience.
deals over there?
Yeah, I did a few. I had great mentors. They put me in a bullpen of like other agents, and this one guy named Ben Brown like immediately put his arm around me, and he was like, I'm going to show you like let's go do showings together. You're coming with me today. And he's like, he
fun.
taught me like how to ride the subway and like all the different streets and how buildings worked, and I'll never forget
cool.
that. Yeah.
That's super cool. How long did you do that? How long were you in New York for?
Just 2 years before coming back
Okay.
to San Diego.
Your dad's like, yeah, you have your license now. I'm going to need you back here.
Yeah.
That's what, did you do rentals or?
I did a lot of
both?
rentals.
A lot of rentals.
And
'Cause
then
that's
I
big over
got
there.
to do a few sales too. And
Great.
Cool.
yeah.
So why'd you guys move back?
Moved back. My wife was interviewing for jobs and got a bunch of job offers in New York, but she got one in San Diego.
Wow.
Just like it kind of felt like we were dropping the anchor.
Yeah.
So we luckily dropped the anchor back in San Diego.
Good.
Was her family here or up in the Bay Area?
Her family moves a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I met them,
you
they were
went-
here.
Obviously, you guys grew up together, so they were here. Okay.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
here. Her dad was working in Acapulco for a while, and then
Oh.
they moved to San Francisco, then Dallas, then San Jose. Now they're back in San Francisco.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
They take the kids back up there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so nice.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
They're like, bye, see you in a week.
Yeah. I will say that like as far as like stories go, like things that I'll never forget. It's hard to forget like things that happened to you when you first get your real estate license.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Right?
Is it ever? Because we just talked about this last week. You're so like naive and like full of life.
Excited.
And excited and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And you're like, I got this.
Right.
So do you have one?
I
where
just,
that
I
happened?
just have just like something I'll never forget. There was this building called the Royale, and it was on the Upper East Side. And
I was like, oh, where is that here?
Yeah,
Never
I was like,
mind.
I don't think I remember that.
and in New York, you wear a suit and tie to show real estate, like, no matter what, even when it's like summertime.
Ooh.
Yep.
At least back then, when you worked at Corcoran, there was like an understanding.
Oh, yeah.
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 And I'll never forget. I'm showing my listing. I had a co-listing agent, and I was showing it, and this like sweet couple had, what's the type of dog Matt used to have? He had like this dog that
was it a Pomeranian?
It was the smallest little dog, like it fits in your hand.
What?
Oh my god.
What was it? Well, this couple came in and they had their dog
In their hand.
In their hand,
No,
in the
I
palm.
wish.
Oh. Oh, is it feisty?
We so we get in the elevator and apparently this is a thing where if the leash gets caught in the elevator, it can like,
Oh yeah, it can
it's
like.
terrifying. So we had this moment I walk in the lobby and I'm like, have you heard of this building? And I'm telling them all about the amenities and like,
Oh my god.
I'm like petting their dog and we're talking like this, like a lot of our meet and greet was all about this dog. And then we get in the elevator.
And is
the
this
door
a tiny
shuts.
dog?
It's a tiny dog.
Oh no.
With a harness on. So like really like, stuck in its leash. And the door shuts and this dog just starts getting dragged across the floor.
No.
And the scream that came out of this woman's mouth was I don't think my heart's ever raced. It was the worst moment.
And you probably felt like responsible, even though
I did.
It's not
I
you.
did. I felt like I was hosting them in this building.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And it gets across the floor and then it starts kind of getting pulled up the wall.
Oh my gosh.
And are you guys trying to like get like
Yeah, so
everything
I'm like the youngest guy, and so I like
You're like,
I
I'm quick as a cat. I got it.
I lunged and I grabbed it and I yanked it and it released.
The leash did.
It did, but like what basically almost happened was just like a dog explosion.
100%. Because it will like pull and go as you're going up or whatever.
I
and
guess
the
so.
dog. Yeah.
I guess so, but just
Yeah.
trying to like do a normal showing.
Yeah, there's already
That's-
pressure.
It was terrible. It was
Oh
terrible.
my god! But you saved the day.
Yeah, you're the hero.
Saved the day. Yeah. I
What
guess.
were they like?
Or-
Oh my god! Thank you so much. Like
No, it was kind of quiet afterward. Yes, there was a thank you, but I mean, I think we all
We're just
we're just
stunned.
like terrified. Like,
yeah.
and that's so funny because that's not something that we deal with a lot here.
Right.
We're even in a condo building. Yes, sometimes there's an elevator or whatever, downtown or whatever. But like, I don't know. I think it is more of a thing back there. I don't know why. Like, I've never seen that happen here, but I've heard of it. And
I've not heard of that.
I mean, think about it.
That's a
Like, if
thing in
it's
New
caught
York,
and
like,
then you go
well,
up,
yeah.
like, it'll get yanked. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So that was kind of like a scarring like early story.
Oh, I'm glad you saved the dog.
I know.
Yeah.
But Pat, you saved the day.
Saved the day. Yeah.
Hero Pat is the name of this episode.
Okay. Yes. Keep your dog safe.
Keep your dog. That's what Pat is here to do. Keep your dog safe, everybody. That is wild. That's a good reminder, though.
Yeah. So that's not the craziest real estate story, but that was pretty.
No,
scary.
I've never ever heard of that.
No, and especially again, it's like sometimes these things happen when you're so green and so new, and you will never forget it. So
Totally.
Wait, I'm still kind of confused. How is the leash on the other side of the door though?
Well,
they just didn't pull it all the way in?
yeah, right.
Like they were just walking and dragging?
I guess. I don't
Okay.
remember.
It's possible if they're I could imagine if they're holding the dog and the leash is just kind of there.
Drag-
If
okay.
it was dragging through the door and the door closed on it, then and they set the dog down or whatever. Yeah, who knows?
It's all a blur.
I bet.
It happened so fast, guys. And this was
Were they
years
the
ago.
buyers?
No.
Yeah, okay.
They're like, we're never
getting
buying
first
this
level.
building again. Did you
Yeah.
sell it shortly after?
It ended up selling.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they probably bought like ground level after that.
A walk-in town, 3-story walk-up townhome. They're like,
Yeah.
no, this is no elevators for this dog. That's wild.
Yeah.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I'm back to talk about our sponsor and producer, Property Showcase Group. This is for all my agent and affiliate friends out there. Property Showcase Group has a special offer just for you. The first 3 agents to email Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com will get 1 month free of social media management using code LOCKBOX. That's right, 1 month free. And they're offering 20% off your first video production using code LOCKBOX. For more information, contact Property Showcase Group at teampsg at propertyshowcasegroup.com. And don't forget to use code LOCKBOX or mention this podcast. Oh my God.
I know.
Very tragic. Okay, well, you saved the day, so that's all that. Wait, do you remember the dog's name?
No. No.
It was probably something like
Matt's
Fufu.
dog's name was Duke. It was a Duke, whatever kind of dog that was.
I think he would. The one that,
Matt, what kind of dog was that?
yeah. Wasn't it a Pomeranian?
I think so.
No, they still have a Pomeranian. The Pomeranian's like the really fluffy one, right?
How long ago?
I don't know
Yeah.
dog
The
names.
really fluffy one. They still have that. Okay.
Yeah, I forget.
Okay.
I forget. Do real estate agents, do our offices even have bullpens anymore?
No.
I don't think
Right?
I mean, like, okay, so I've actually never been in your office before. But like the Compass office, there's not really a bullpen, but there's open like seating desks, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And they're not cubicle style, but there is a divider in between like one big desk. There's like a divider. So like two people can sit on this side, two people can sit on this side kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like these days, like we have phone booths like in all of our offices where we can like go in and cold call like in private and stuff like that if we're going to. I don't cold call, but you know what I mean. It's not
Do you
for me.
still cold call?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good for you. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was not my
Never been my thing. Never been my thing. Yeah.
It was a good way to get like early on. It was like a good way to get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
never
wasn't
know.
really capable of getting the business, but I could meet somebody and then I could bring a really experienced agent.
Right.
You know, so
And again, I think like it was funny when we had a previous guest that came on and he was like, yeah, back in the day I used to fax people. Like,
oh yeah.
I was like, I kind of wish that was still around.
I
I'd
know.
fax the shit out of people. I'm like, hi.
I'm back.
My face comes over on black and white, like on a flyer. It's like coming through the fax machine. You can see it, right? I would do it.
There you go.
I would do it. Anyway.
Yeah, a lot has changed in about 15 years in this industry.
And it's about to be shaken up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, when is that? August something?
August 17th.
Next month. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay.
going down.
It's gonna be fine.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will be fine. I just keep it right, Pat. Everything's gonna be okay. Yes, it will. It will.
I agree.
Okay. We have a game, but I don't want to play that yet. Do you have one more story?
Like a crazy story.
Do you have one?
No, that
Matt told your crazy story.
Matt told one of our longest, most fun stories.
Of
Was
course
there
he
anything
did.
you left out of that story?
I don't know if he mentioned that another agent found the same guy
He was on our podcast.
and ended up actually like wrestling that guy.
Wait, who?
I can't remember now, but we were like, wait, is that the
I
same?
don't know if we were sure that was the same homeless guy.
Oh.
Okay, wait, tell this part then. So after you guys got him out because you had what? And for anyone, that was episode 2, so go back and watch it. But it was, you had put up cameras. He found them. Is that correct? Or tore them down, or he blocked them somehow?
we put up a baby cam. So I had a baby cam. I put it in the master bedroom, and then like at 6 a.m, I get an alert. I'm like, there he is.
Oh my gosh.
And sleeping on the bed, and yeah, I think he realized it kind of later, but like he fully had a morning's sleep by the time I had a camera in there. But what Matt and I ended up learning after we shooed him away creatively is that somebody else actually tackled this guy, held him up, and like tied him up until the police came.
Who was
Oh,
it?
wow.
Do we know? You don't have to say right now, but do we know who he is?
Yeah. His name starts with a G.
Have we had him on this podcast?
I don't think so.
Now that I think it was somebody,
Okay,
and we
wait,
were
I'll
like,
bleep
oh,
it out.
maybe.
Say his name.
Oh.
No, we haven't
No,
had him on, but
no.
I feel like someone told us about this.
Yeah. So another agent actually like held the guy down.
Wow.
Because they found him in one of his listings.
Yeah, same thing. And then another listing up in Muirlands, somebody was describing what was going on, and Matt and I immediately were like, we know who he is, and we sent pictures, and they were like, yeah, oh my gosh, so this guy's like a serial squatter, you know?
Is he still around? Do we know?
Yeah, he's still around.
Doing-
His name's Carlos.
I
just thought of the other agent.
That's his name. Not the agent, Carlos.
Well, I don't know. He's got
Carlos-
great access to all the
Carlos is
information.
not squatting. That is what. It's kind of like that blonde chick that was doing yoga naked in
Naked.
everybody's like backyards.
In their pools.
Yeah. and she drove a silver Lexus.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I had a silver Lexus.
I was like,
no.
Stephanie, stop
And you're
doing
blonde.
yoga.
Yes, and in like the middle of like one of our
It was like a
Sotheby's
sales
meetings,
meeting.
Yeah, Cam's like, Stephanie, and everyone, I'm like, oh my God, guys, no. She's like, I told you to stop doing that. I'm like, it wasn't me, I swear.
Yeah.
Is she still around? I feel like she is. Pat's like, yeah, she broke into my listing the other day.
I forgot her name, but we all knew her name.
It's probably Stephanie.
And I haven't seen, no, it's not Stephanie. No, I don't know her name.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. It's
So that guy's still around? Wow.
and
Yeah, you
what's-
still see him. He hangs out around town and he found a new bike and
after you guys creatively got rid of his other
yeah.
one.
But after that happens, you start knowing what to look for
Oh yeah.
in other listings. And
Oh.
I did have a listing subsequently in another neighborhood. I don't want to go into too much detail, but like I had another listing where like it was pretty clear.
You saw the signs.
You see the signs. So like the signs are they'll leave a window cracked.
Oh God. To let themselves.
Yeah,
Was
that-
it in La
that's-
Jolla?
that's-
Another neighborhood in La Jolla or PB?
It was further away, but like that's the clear sign is like who left all these windows conveniently shut but not
all
like,
the way.
but
all the way.
and then I don't know why they're always candy wrappers. Like it's like somebody's just having like an immature moment staying in somebody's house.
Like inside, you find a candy wrapper?
He's homeless though, isn't he?
Well, this guy in La Jolla
Carlos.
must be a homeless guy.
He must be.
Because he's sleeping in other people's homes,
Yeah.
right?
Listen, he could just be having a sleepover, Pat. You know, he could just be like, this looks comfy.
He wasn't homeless that night.
Yeah.
He definitely was not.
And
He's a different kind of homeless.
and it's amazing like how
And by the way, he went into Starbucks that day that Matt stole his stolen. By the way, he had stole and
Restole.
somehow restole. You took back rightfully and gave it back to Bird or whoever it was. But like, how did he rig? He's no dummy, this Carlos.
No.
Because he not only got into all these listings, but then he also rigged that Bird scooter so that he didn't have to pay for it.
I think he's a smart guy just having a weird moment.
Yeah.
Like he's a smart guy.
he is a smart guy to be doing all that.
Yeah. Do
totally.
we need to find him and be like, do you
He
want
should
a
be an
job?
agent.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't sleep in our listings, but you can sell them if you want. Like, we will pay you money.
We should
Like,
like Carlos to help us get squatters out.
exactly.
Yeah, I was
Carlos
like, I
can
know what
chase
to
them
do.
out,
Carlos.
and also we'll be like, Carlos, you set up the security cameras. You be like, oh nope, see this window right here? This is how you get in right here. He
Gotta
could
close
be
that.
like,
Yeah.
preemptive, like security. It'd be great.
That's
Yeah.
funny that you say about the candy wrapper because when I lived on Avenida Mignana, we were neighbors. Our house got broken into, but I remember seeing someone like walking around the house and we thought it was like a gardener. And then the next day,
That's actually terrifying.
oh yeah, there was a bat and a martini glass with something in it, but it was just like, what a weird thing
Yeah, that's strange.
to leave.
Bat and a martini glass.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then it ended, anyways, it ended up being fine, but it's just weird that they leave little trinkets
yeah.
with them.
Like junk food. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. It's like, what were you going to do with that?
Well, we recently
the
had
bat.
2 sales guys jump our gate, so I got the Ring camera recently.
Sales guys?
Well,
2? I thought it was just 1.
no, it was 2.
Like
One
they were
jumped the
so
gate.
excited to knock on your door.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's someone else you
place.
should hire.
One jumped the gate and he let his friend in and then started pounding on my neighbor's window.
To get a sale?
I was pissed. Yeah. I don't know. We didn't talk to them. We threatened them to get off our property and they did.
Yeah, okay.
And then the private property sign went up.
That's pretty aggressive.
It was
Yeah,
aggressive.
that's a
And they
high
were like,
thing.
and my neighbor lives by herself and they were like pounding on her window and because they could see her in there. And so, yeah, we didn't love it.
Have you guys ever done door knocking?
Yes.
The way that you said that.
She is traumatized. Wait, Cam, do you have a story for us about door knocking?
No, it just sounds awful to do.
So I have, but also didn't last very long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
I
You are.
No, not really. Not as
This
much.
is
like
a tough
physical
area
door-
to do that in.
I did it in New York, and that was a completely different experience.
In a
'Cause
good
you're in
way?
buildings and stuff, right? So is it easier or not in a good way because
Well, it
your
was
life is threatened?
townhomes. So you're like,
Okay.
you're like really nice townhomes
Yeah.
knocking on doors, and they are not used to having their doors knocked on.
Right.
But
So
I had
did it not go well?
A couple of young buddies. No, a couple of young real estate agents. We like just did it, and it was fun. I had one great experience with door knocking. No, it was a crazy coincidence. Like when at least for me, when I was like 22. When you're 22 and you're in New York, you're like far away from home,
Totally.
Yeah.
right? And you're like in a new city,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm door knocking, where was I? It was the Lower West Side, yeah. And door knocking, and I bump into this older guy, and we start talking, and it turns out that he went to La Jolla High School.
What?
But he's lived in New York since he was like 30 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he's like, and I just so happened to I'm about to sell my townhome. I'm like, how do I have anything in common with this guy? You know,
And there
it was
you do.
amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It was actually a really it was kind of like a heart-wrenching story. Like, he had this beautiful townhome. He was an artist.
Oh.
And he had a wife with dementia. And what his plan was to sell this house. It was in the West Village. See, I don't speak New York anymore.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So. She's my 3 days.
She was there 3 days, Pat. She does not speak the boroughs.
I didn't know which way
of
was
New
up.
York. She doesn't even know what a borough is.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, like, he had a wife with dementia, and she didn't really know who anybody was, but she knew her way around the house. So his plan was, I don't know if he went through with this, was to sell the townhome. I know he sold the townhome, but to sell the townhome and to go rebuild the same townhome, like out in the suburbs somewhere.
So she would know her way.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I might cry.
did you sell it for him?
I didn't end up getting the listing, but I did get an interview, which was a big deal.
That's a
Yeah.
huge deal.
I'll never forget, like, walking out of the office, like, I was in Soho, and I was like the youngest agent in there.
Yeah.
This guy was like, because La Jolla High School is the Vikings. My manager, we had this manager, Gene Martinez, and Gene was like, the Vikings.
You're like, yeah, that's right.
Go sell that house.
He's just pumping you up as you walk out. That's amazing. That sounds like it was a really good experience at Corcoran, though. Like,
Yeah.
those people seemed amazing that were there.
I had incredible mentors.
Yeah.
It was a
I
lot
feel
of
like
fun.
she created a culture for that. You know what I mean? Like, she busts her ass. So,
Yeah.
she's someone to look up to for sure.
She did, and then Compass showed up and like siphoned the whole office. So,
No way.
yeah,
Really?
So when Compass became a thing, I was working in New York City.
Oh, wow. I mean, because they were really only on the East Coast initially. Like,
Yeah.
it took a while for them to migrate
I'm
to us.
probably telling the story wrong, but like, they were a company called Urban Compass,
Yeah, I think that's correct.
and they had this little company where people wore like tool belts basically to show property. Like, they had like a little uniform. Like, that's how I remember it. And they mostly did rentals.
Okay.
And then they acquired Leonard Steinberg, who's a big real estate agent, and that was a big deal. So the industry was like, what? Like, how did this Urban Compass get Leonard Steinberg? That's amazing. And then after they got Leonard Steinberg, our office manager from Corcoran moved to Compass, and that was like earth shattering.
Who was that? Do you remember?
There's a guy named Gene Martinez.
I wonder if Gene is still there.
Gene passed away.
Okay.
But they got Gene to make the move, and Gene was like, there was Barbara Corcoran sold the firm. Gene was there forever, and Gene was everybody's favorite manager. But as soon as Gene left, suddenly, and then they dropped the Urban, and it became Compass. So then Compass just started siphoning all of these agents. I'll never
Wow.
forget. Yeah, I'll never forget. Yeah,
That's cool.
Wild.
That's
That
a good
is
little
cool.
history
Yeah.
piece there.
Yeah, Leonard is still with Compass today.
Yeah.
We actually get an email from him
at
every
3
single day.
a.m.
every day, really.
Every single day.
I
I'll
watch
show it
his,
to you.
I watch his, like, he'll do like an Instagram video of like
Yeah.
a market update.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'll show you the email. And in fact, anybody can be on it. So I can put you on that email so you could get it from
Subscribe me.
I will. It's so his emails are actually really cool. And at the very bottom, you can actually click and listen. And he like reads it. And I love his accent. You know what I mean? So yeah, he still has it. So yeah, he's a sweetheart. So that's who knew?
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's when he started with them. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to come over to Compass then?
I'm not.
Steve. By the way,
Compass is great. I've got nothing against.
they're fantastic. We're super happy. But I saw your dad yesterday and I was like, you're my next victim. And he's like, oh,
Oh gosh.
and that's what he said. I
Yeah.
don't know about that. And Matt was like, come on. And he's like, I was like, Pat's coming on tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love your dad. He's great. Both your parents are just sweethearts.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Okay. You want to play a game?
Sure.
Okay. Cam's going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
The game is called Punch List because we hit you with 3 questions. Okay. So just the first things that come to your mind, which I'm kind of excited to hear some of these.
Okay. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in front of a client?
Okay. I don't know why it keeps going back to New York. It's like I haven't worked since I was in New York. I think it's the early career thing.
Yeah.
I leaned on a white, freshly painted wall on the first tour of the day, and showed like 6 more properties just completely one-sided.
Oh my gosh.
In a nice suit.
That's something that would happen to you.
Yes, 100%.
Oh my
That came to mind.
In a nice
You're like,
suit
I got
too.
this in the art district in Soho, and it was meant
It's a new
to be
thing.
this way. And your client's like, no, I saw you lean on that wall. You're like, they're like, your suit print is actually on the freshly painted wall.
I feel like if any place though, New York would probably be
Totally.
okay
You
to
could've
do that.
Totally gotten away with that.
Yeah.
Fashion.
Yeah,
It was
fashion.
It was streetwear.
Fashion
like
forward.
literally streetwear. You got it. Like there's a new street artist. He's up and coming.
Yeah.
His name is Patrick Carincross, and he leans on walls.
It's amazing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh.
Give me a life or in the business.
Life or in the business?
Anything.
Okay. A pet peeve in the business is when I see agents. Posing like next to the what feels like more of a price tag instead of a property. You know, like the agents who lean on like just listed for 10 million, and you're like, tell us about the house.
Right.
That's a little
Yes.
It also
like the price tag is the product.
Right.
I-
Yeah, it's
it says a lot, doesn't it?
To some
Tomorrow?
people, it's fun.
Okay, fair.
But yeah.
But tomorrow I'm expecting to see on your Instagram just listed 9 million.
Or leaving the lot size off the MLS, because you have to go on the tax assessor record, and you're like,
I thought it was required.
it
is, but it's
in
like
one way it is, but the other way that we really want to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
the range. You mean?
Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah, that is annoying.
because I want to know exactly what it is, and I go into tax records every single time.
We're gonna find it.
But why do I have to dig for it though?
You know, another thing I just realized that's a pet peeve.
What?
Is when an agent writes an offer and they don't put any of the listing agent's information on there. It's
But
like,
what if they put it wrong?
They put their like.
I guess the
Like-
key is to ask.
what do you mean wrong?
Oh,
Like,
you mean when you're writing an offer as a buyer and you put it wrong? No, she means like you mean when it's submitted, like when
when I
agent-
receive it, yeah. So then
it's like their assistant wrote it or something.
well, it's just like you didn't have the time to like look up who the listing agent is and write their name.
oh
Excuse me.
Yeah,
listing
yeah.
agent.
Okay.
That's easy.
yeah,
I
it's just
don't,
like
though.
yeah, I get it all the time. I'm like, you
or
didn't
they
have
don't
the
even look
time
up
to
like
do
the
that?
DRE. Like I put in emails, I fill that shit out
Yeah,
completely.
or like
you
the
know?
seller, it's like, yeah, you have to go to the tax records, but like, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah,
you know, just go the extra step.
Okay,
I feel that.
Yeah.
right.
It's probably because I'm
We're gonna
doing all
tell
the
all the
contracts.
agents
So,
out here to please fill out your contracts correctly. Thank
and
you.
then, you know, yeah.
And
Okay.
so much is changing, so you better get to know it real good. You know.
Yeah. Okay. If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
I'm super interested to know this.
I would just be a musician.
A
You would?
musician.
Wait a minute. I actually just learned this from your Instagram. Are you in a band?
I play in somebody else's band.
That's so. What do you play?
I'm a drummer.
That's what I thought.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean you play in someone else's band? Aren't you like, is it a band?
I'm not really in a
together?
band like
Do they?
I've
Like they
always-
ask you to do some.
There are a couple.
times
There are
or
a couple
something?
dad bands that they're established, and I'm like the drummer that they're letting play with them right now.
Oh, okay.
So fun. I love that they're dad bands, by the way. And they're like, Pat's like, I'm just moonlighting for them.
Where do you play sometimes? Like Beaumont's or like.
Yeah. So we have one coming up in Beaumont. I don't know the date.
Oh, you better know the
Yeah,
date
I
soon.
could look it up, but we have one. It's so the one band that I'm
that'd be really
playing with right now is Greg Cummings.
Yeah.
So he's the drummer in this band, but
Oh.
he has an amazing travel schedule, so I'm filling in for him. Yeah.
Great. Can we
How
also have your
cool.
travel schedule for
Yeah.
these things?
I,
That is
I FaceTimed him, and he was in Sri Lanka recently.
no way.
And I was like, I'm playing on your drum set tonight.
You're like, thanks for being gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Pat, we have to come see you.
It's super fun.
That's so fun. Okay, will you please tell us?
That band, it's Offshore Drift. They play like all their own originals, which is fun. But like the challenge for me is to play it their way.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their music.
Yeah.
But they're all really good musicians. And
So cool. Have you always been into
yeah,
music and like been a drummer? And this isn't something you picked up as an adult?
I was the lead singer of a heavy metal band in high school. Yeah.
How do you not know this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What other talents are you hiding that we don't know?
Wait,
That's
heavy
it.
metal.
Are you sure?
That's it.
That's
like-
amazing.
Yeah. So I'd be a musician, and that's actually how I met my wife. Is I I wrote all the music in high school for plays, and I recorded it, and then I got to play the soundboard. Like I got to put my own music to plays. And my wife was an actress in one of the plays.
Oh my God, you guys are so
What?
cute.
Wait, so how come you never went to that avenue, or was that just like a hobby?
I wasn't very academic.
Okay.
So my first year of
Same.
But you got
college,
into USC?
Same. I
no,
understand.
I backdoored into USC.
Oh, okay.
I went to the Berkeley School of Music for a year in Boston.
Oh.
And that's how I got into USC, because I think they were like, we'll take a Berkeley student into our music program.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's I kind of backdoored it, but yeah, so that's how I met my wife, and then music for me now is just like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that would be so cool.
So
That
do you
would
see
be
if your
so
kids
cool.
have any of your musical talents?
They dance a lot.
Okay.
I actually see when you guys post stories and like listen to music and dance in the house, it's freaking adorable.
Yeah,
It's so sweet. You guys have a really cute little family.
we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, Pat, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
that was
You're
really
welcome.
fun.
Okay, everybody, don't forget to follow, rate, review, like, share, subscribe, all the things, please. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.